Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. So the Lakers have given up 82 points in the first half, and the effort that I'm seeing rivals some of the worst effort I've ever seen. This game against the Mavericks is an abomination to watch, and trying to sit there from possession to possession to possession is making my eyes bleed, to be completely honest with you. I am finding new ways to be disappointed by this horrible basketball team. And I'm telling you, as I'm sitting here watching this, fully aware of the fact that AD is not there, Bron isn't there, Nunn is not coming back. We officially got word that he's not going to be returning this season, which is like, duh, of course not. All of those different mistakes, not to mention the coach and his different stuff, that ultimately hurts the team. All of that understood, I still look at this team and expect them to play better than what I'm seeing right there. With all the stuff that's going wrong, as limited as they are, you still should not be giving up 82 points to the Dallas Mavericks. Now, granted, if Dallas is a playoff team, they're not somebody to poo-poo. It's not like we're sitting here saying, oh, Dallas is a bad team or nothing. No, they're good. They're a playoff team. But they're not 82 points in the first half good. No, they're not that good. Lakers are not trying. I've seen situations where Russell Westbrook blew a defensive assignment 3 plays in a row and left open a 3-point shot for their team, obviously, working the ball around, finding where the mismatch is because he decided he wanted to double. But not fully commit to the double, just enough to be out of position so they can move the ball around and find a 3. I mean, I'm just sitting here, I'm saying, boy, this is some brain-dead basketball we're watching here. I look at Frank Vogel and his rotations. He's putting Melo on the floor, Trevor Ariza on the floor. I'm like, Lord, this guy is not helping his organization at all and doesn't even know it. The only thing the Lakers really need you to do, Frank, is play all of the young players, dude. Do not put any more them 30-year-old dudes out there, man. Why? Because they don't have any trade value. They can't do anything for this team. They can't play any basketball on the court, and they can't get us nothing off of it. They are useless. The best thing they can do for us is not play. This far into the season, when we don't have anything to play for, they need not be on the floor at all. In fact, they should have been waived. I mean that. Everybody on this roster should be from the G League. If their name ain't LeBron James, Anthony Davis, THT, Austin Reeves, Malik Monk, if they're not one of those guys, they shouldn't even be here right now. For these last 6 games, you should be calling people up to see if any of them at all can play in the big leagues. And that then would trickle down to Frank Vogel having different options instead of the ones that he has, for which he chooses wrong. My level of disgust and disdain with this franchise and its decision-making and the way that it's handled this season, even when things became clear, when it was clear that this team wasn't going to do anything this season, there are still things you need to do to transition yourself from being a team with hopes to a team that sucks. And we haven't even done those things. I am overwhelmed with frustration. And the sad thing is I expect to lose. How do you be frustrated and disappointed when you walk into the game expecting to lose? I didn't even have expectations and you found a way to fall short of them. If I'm Bron, I ain't coming back next year. I don't give a damn what y'all talking about. Get me out of here now. That's how bad this is. I don't even want to be here. Y'all don't even know how to be bad properly. Y'all don't even know how to suck right so that you can have a good season next year. You don't even know what you're doing. Where's the excuse for that? This ain't year 1 for anybody. Not the front office, not anybody on this team. The only person it's year 1 for is Austin Reeves. Everybody else has at least done this once before. How is it that we're acting like we've never seen the NBA and how it's supposed to operate? Vets hold no value at the end of the season when your team is trash. That is why a buyout market exists. That is the point of the buyout market, to get all of those old dudes that should be playing on winning teams off of the back of your bench so you can have an influx of free minutes for young prospects. That is what it's for. That's protocol. That's how every team is supposed to do it. And you got Carmelo Anthony in the game. You got Trevor Ariza in the game. These are the things that help me understand. This is the writing on the wall that helps me understand that this team is going to be just as bad next season. And I hope you guys are bracing yourselves for the understanding that we are going to be bad next year, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Why? Because our front office doesn't know how not to be bad at this point. If they were doing the right things, we would have more hope, but they're still doing things that send us in the other direction. I'm trying to tell you, it's getting worse, just based on how they're preparing for the end of this season and the next season. They're not even preparing for that correctly. So that's where we're at, man. Thank God the season is almost over. I find myself loathing big game night these days. I really do, because I got to dedicate 3 hours of my night to this bad basketball team just because of the colors that they wear and the city they represent. That's literally what it is. Like I told you guys a couple videos ago, I do not identify with this team. I don't connect with this team. This team don't represent me in no other way than the fact that they are wearing the same colors, albeit in a disgraceful manner, than the colors that I've been rooting for my entire life. That is all that these guys got for me right now. I like some of the young players. I appreciate the great LeBron James. But everybody else can go, man. Anthony Davis, I respect AD. He's won a championship here, but god dang it, man. The best ability is availability, and then you can't be a GOAT level player sitting on the sideline for more than half of the season with multiple injuries. Not just one injury to keep him out. He had like 4 or 5 different injuries. That tells me that something is not being done correctly. I heard somebody say something about balance. Okay, he needs to work on that. I said he needs to work on his lower body in general, work on his stretching. That's the same thing. He needs to do these things, man. Because, like I said yesterday, his trade value is low. Laker fans are frustrated. And I want to say something here, and then I'll move on. I don't like the position as a Laker fan that I'm put in. It's almost like I'm a bad guy if I'm not rooting for these superstars independent of my own success. I was listening to somebody kind of describe the Laker fan position this morning in regards to the Lakers and LeBron James. It's like, I don't remember who it was that was speaking, and I apologize for that, but they were saying that the Lakers' relationship with LeBron is transactional. It's like we are only root for him as it pertains to our own success. That's not limited to LeBron James, man. That's everybody who come here. I want LeBron and every athlete to understand that is not limited to the Los Angeles Lakers, and that is not limited to LeBron James. Any franchise that doesn't draft you is going to have that mentality about players that come to their team. You come here to do what it is you got to do, and when you leave, you ain't with us no more. How do you think Toronto felt about Kawhi? They liked Kawhi, but he left. You know what I mean? It's like it ain't deeper than that. So don't make it sound like, the Lakers, they have some distant relationship with LeBron James that's special to LeBron James. They just didn't embrace him. Like, no. He himself uniquely demands a certain level of love off rip just because he's literally the second greatest player to ever play the game. So that in and of itself will be something that any team would be appreciative of having. Any fan base would appreciate of having LeBron James. But as I've told people on this camera many times, we are not just happy to be here. We're not that organization. We are literally, in our eyes and in the numbers, we're the premier franchise in the league. We got a story all to our own. We're in the middle of a great story here, filled with ups and downs, triumphs and losses. LeBron James story. We're not happy for him. We're just not happy to be here, man. Some franchises, LeBron comes there, and that's the beginning of their story. If LeBron James goes to the Orlando Magic, their history starts that day. No disrespect to Penny Hardaway and Shaq and them, but that's the day the history begins. No disrespect to Dwight, our very own, but like, he changed his life for them. That's when things happen for them. He goes to Toronto. That's when, you know what I mean? It's different. But if you go to the Lakers, man, no, we are our own entity. And if you want to be a part of us, you got to love us as who we are. You can't come here and expect us to behave like different types of fans. We not them. So this notion that LeBron James, like we supposed to just bow at his feet or that he's supposed to bow at ours, that ain't how. No. When you have two kings that come together to work together and collaborate, that's just what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be just in awe of you. I'm the mighty Lakers. You're the mighty LeBron, and let's get together and let's make this happen. That's how the fans are approaching the situation. We don't look at ourselves as one of y'all. No disrespect, but we not. We at the top of the food chain. 17 of them on us. Most in the modern era, unlike the Celtics. We ain't just happy to be here. So I just want to put that out there, man. That's what I got. I'm going to go back and try to watch as much of this game, this blowout, as possible. And I'll come back with you guys with a wrap-up. And I say that reluctantly because I know me. I'm not going to talk too much about the wrap-up. I'm more so going to vent about how frustrated I am, just like I'm doing right now. Because this game doesn't mean nothing to anybody, except for the Mavericks, who are going to win it. So that's pretty much what I got to say about that. Luka Legend's going off. One of the best players in the world. And Dallas is just doing whatever they have to do. I mean, you don't have to try too hard. It's not like we're putting up a fight. PDF 44.